You want to ban the burqa. What do you think it'll achieve?
Well, I think the fact is, I would take issue, by the way, with what you said in your introduction there. What the point of our announcement was today is that basically it's called the integration agenda. We want Britain to become more integrated. It's getting more fragmented. And the fact is, with your first question about the burqa there, is that is almost a literal barrier to integration. It covers the face. And in our sort of society, we communicate by seeing each other. This is an incredibly basic thing. And, you know, it's not like we've come out of left field with this, because France banned it, Belgium has banned it, and indeed also the biggest party in the EU Parliament, no less, has also called for a EU-wide ban.
Will you look at what's happened in France? It doesn't really seem to have necessarily improved integration, has it?
Well, no, but there are different reasons for that in France, which are not necessarily to do with this. I mean, look, the fact is that when people sort of put up reasons not to do things, the truth is that we have situations going on, whether it is this or whether it's, for example, cultural practices such as FGM that go on being unprosecuted. People bring up straw dog arguments and straw man arguments, and basically what happens is nothing is ever achieved, nothing is changed. We are trying to be positive about this and say, look, you know, we have a legal system here. It's got to be one law for all. We can't have parallel systems of law. And also that it's very, very important in our sort of society that we communicate by seeing each other's face. And the time has come to actually make sure that that is enforced.
But do you really think it's up to the government to tell women what to wear?
Do you really think it's up to men to tell women what to wear?
No,
because
the government,
I think that
politicians, people like yourself.
Somehow this is... No. You're assuming that somehow this is a matter of complete choice. I mean, you know, all across the Middle East, there are strong movements by women right, to somehow rid themselves of the veil and for very restrictive dress. And somehow to assume that this is all a matter of choice. I'm not saying, actually, there are some cases where it is probably a matter of choice, but I think there are a hell of a lot where it's not, because it is an absolute living symbol of subjugation of women.
I'm just struggling to find out what evidence do you have that a lot of Muslim women who choose to wear the burqa don't want to wear it. Where's that evidence coming from?
Well, this is, this is quite extraordinary. There are movements in most Islamic countries, right, where women have been seriously oppressed and are regarded as second-class citizens, right, to somehow try to free themselves from this kind of dress.
But I'm talking about in the UK.
Now,
here in the UK,
it's only, yes, in the UK, you are sort of saying that basically women who go out and with their face completely covered, who can't touch or speak to a man or whatever, that somehow or other, that is somehow or other completely their choice. I mean, you know, this is only in certain Western countries would you hear that kind of argument. Also, the other thing as well is, even if it is their choice, I would say to you that, in fact, in our kind of country, you have to see each other's faces in order to communicate, and therefore this is an immediate barrier to that.
What about people wearing big hats, big sunglasses, their scarf up over their nose? Should they not be allowed either?
I think you're trivialising what is a very, very serious issue. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Talking about big hats and what have you, this is ridiculous. You know, if I were actually to go into a hotel or a bar or somewhere with some friends and all sit there in balaclavas, I would be asked to take it off, or probably asked to leave, actually. And quite right too, because it's intimidating and it's aggressive. And the fact is that this is something which actually says, I want to remain separate. And we cannot, if we want to build a unified country, if we want to build a unified society, then we have to have some basic rules that we...
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.